Hello, Yo fans. It's your pool pals, Matt and Rob, and today we're going to show you how to replace a pool pump motor on an above-ground pool pump. Rob, tell us what we're working with today.
All right, so today we're using the Hayward PowerFlow Matrix above-ground pool pump, but the steps are going to be basically the same for any above-ground pool pump. First thing we're going to want to do is remove this housing from the motor.
All right, so let's make sure our laces are tight because we're going to jump right in.
Okay, the housing on most above-ground pool pumps are normally going to be threaded into this piece or held on by a clamp. The Matrix is a little different, so you have to take off the lid first and remove the basket. And there's a little clip on the inside that holds the strainer pot to the rest of the housing. So you got to remove that. All right, so we're just going to pull up on this little clamp, remove that, and then we can take off the pot there. All right, so now we're going to remove these screws to take off this faceplate. All right, I'm going to go ahead and pull this plate off now.
All right, and on the inside, you can see that this is the inside of the impeller housing, where the impeller is housed.
Yep.
How would you have guessed that?
Yeah.
All right, so what's the next step?
Now we got to stabilize the shaft from the back and get this off.
All right.
Okay, so there's just one screw back here holding the end cap on. So we'll loosen that up. And that's going to expose the shaft. And what we have to do is stabilize that before we can turn the impeller. We're going to use a big flathead screwdriver, stabilize it. And from the front, you're going to turn the impeller counterclockwise. Get that off there. All right, in order to get this piece off, there are 4 long bolts running through the entire motor. And you can access them back here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. So I got to remove those, get this piece off. Okay, so we've got the 4 through bolts loosened up, and now we can pull this piece off. You can see where those 4 through bolts were. Now they connect to the inside of that piece there. So now we've got the old motor totally removed. It's time to start assembling the new motor. All right, so we've got our new motor out here. It's a BN25, but before we start reassembling it, we got to replace the shaft seal. Anytime you replace a motor, you want to replace the shaft seal. Otherwise, you run the risk of water running down the shaft and ruining your new motor. So half the shaft seal is already pressed into the seal plate, and the other half, the spring part, is pressed onto the shaft of the impeller. So I have to replace those 2 pieces. Okay, so this one should just pull straight off, and actually this piece gets left behind on a lot of impellers, and if you leave that on, the new shaft seal is not going to fit, so this has to be removed. So you just get a little flat head and pop it off. All right, and then that one you can just pop out from the back side. All right, and we've got our new shaft seal here, this PS2131. This is unique for the Matrix and some of the other PowerFlow pumps. First, we're going to put in this white ceramic piece into this seal plate. The white ceramic side is going to face out, and then that black rubber side is going to be facing down. You can use a water-based lubricant, but you don't want to use like a silicone or Teflon lubricant on this rubber. But you put it in here, and then you want to press it down with a rag. You don't want to get your fingerprints on the seal. All right, so we've got that pressed in there nice and firm. All right, then we got our spring portion, and you'll notice on one side it's got metal and rubber, and this other side is smooth black piece. That smooth black side is going to face the white ceramic. All right, so that means this metal and rubber side is going to be the side that threads onto the impeller. You just push that on. There we go. All right, we're going to go ahead and loosen that screw and take the end cap off. And you can see again the 4 through bolts. The motor's shipped with these nuts on the through bolts, so you know that they don't fall out when they're being shipped. So we got to remove these 4. All right, now we're going to line up our seal plate back on here. And once we got that on there, then we'll start to tighten these through bolts up. Okay. Now I've got the through bolts tightened back up. We'll go ahead and put the impeller back on. Again, what you want to do is stabilize the shaft of the motor. This one's a little different than the original, so I'll have to slip a 7/16 wrench in there and stabilize the shaft. All right, so we've got the 7/16 wrench in here. What you do is you slip it down here, kind of turn the shaft, and you'll feel it lock into place. There it is. So now the shaft is stabilized. Now we can spin the impeller on clockwise. And just kind of spin it. You don't have to really crank it on. Just turn it until it starts to move the wrench in the back, and you're good. Next, we're gonna reattach this front plate here. All right, got that plate all tightened up. All right, we're gonna put the strainer pot back on. That just presses right on. All right, we're gonna reattach this clip, hold the strainer pot in place. And we can put the basket in, put the lid back on. All right, so the last steps are going to involve connecting the power cables back to the new motor. The new motors don't come with a switch. If you want to reuse the switch from your old motor on your new motor, check out our video on how to do that. All right, so we've got a plug over here for the conduit, so we're just going to remove that. And then we're going to feed our 3 lines into that hole there. There's actually a wiring diagram on the motor label, but basically your hot line, which is the black one, is going to go to terminal number 1, which is right here. The white neutral line is going to go on to terminal 6, and then the green ground line will go to that grounding screw right there. All right, so this is terminal 1. We'll take the neutral wire and put that on terminal 6. All right, we're going to loosen up that screw. All right, so we've got our wires connected. We're just going to put on our end cap, tighten the screw. All right, I've got the last screw tightened in there and should be ready to go.
All right, well, I think you did a fantastic job, Rob.
Oh, I appreciate it.
I could have done more. Maybe next time. But if
I'll be on your tombstone.
if you have any questions about how to replace a pool pump motor, leave comments down below. And feel free to visit us at inyopools.com for all your swimming pool needs. Thanks for watching.